Hello everyone, back tuning into today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's third video, that's going to take us to around the 13th of August. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended ECM and GFS. They run to around a couple of weeks, ECM ensembles, and the extended GFS running to around a couple of weeks, takes us just into the second half of the month. Have a look at CFS V2 as well for the next 4 weeks. Been a busy day at Gazlovic so far today. So we started off by having a look at the August forecast. We released the August forecast first video up, and also we have the week ahead forecast as well. So that's your detailed week ahead look ahead, and it does look like it's be quite an unsettled week coming up with plenty of rain on the way. Right, so let's get on with update number 3. And we're going to start off by having a look at this from the National Hurricane Centre, this latest disturbance area. Been keeping a close eye on this disturbance area just here over the past few days. Started off around there, of course. A couple of days ago, this had a 70% chance within the next 5 days of becoming a tropical cyclone, a named storm. Now that's a much lower chance. So let's see what they're saying about it. It's disturbance 1 with a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours and only a 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. So a low chance that this is going to become a named storm within the next 5 days anyway. What they're saying as of 8 a.m. EDT on Saturday, August the 3rd, 2019, is an elongated area of low pressure located several hundred miles east-southeast of the Lesser Antilles is producing a large but disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms. Only gradual development of this system is expected for the next few days while it moves west-northwestward across the northern Lesser Antilles. Subsequently, some slight additional development is possible by the middle of next week while the disturbance moves northwestward north of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to do a great deal. It's just going to carry on being an area of showers and thunderstorms moving in that sort of direction, I think. I mean, it's going to get into that kind of position somewhere around there, and we wait and see whether, as it gets further into the Caribbean, whether it starts to do something or not in terms of becoming picking up energy and becoming a named storm. But at the moment, for the next 2 days, definitely it looks like this is just going to be an area of showers, thunderstorms, and probably the next 5 days as well. Possible development by the middle of next week. We shall keep a very close eye on that, of course. Right, back closer to home, these are the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which we will have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure, blue extrapolates to low pressure. These are the mean flowcharts for the week to 10 day time frame. Takes us to around the 13th of August. So in the coming week to 10 days, so in the 7 to 10 day time frame, the ECMWF has this area of below average heights to west-southwest of us. There is a ridge across central parts of the Mediterranean and also a blocking signal up towards Greenland, as we have had through most of the summer. Jet stream is doing something a little bit like that, so it looks quite unsettled in the 7 to 10 day time frame. We're probably trying to push some heat out of North Africa northwards via that ridge across the Mediterranean, but I would suspect most of that would be pushing off into the east and the southeast of Europe probably, and we're in this Atlantic flow, which could be relatively warm as it's bringing the air up from the middle of the Atlantic, but it would also be quite unsettled with low pressure anchored towards the southwest of the country. GFS is very similar. The only difference is that it's deeper with below. So we've got the below average heights again over to west-southwest of the country. At this time, they're extending through the British Isles and into northern parts of Europe as well. There's that ridge in the Mediterranean, but it's more towards the eastern side of the Med. So the heat with bad is going through Italy and then into the Balkans probably and over towards the Black Sea. Again, we're bringing the flow from off the Atlantic. Something like that is likely with the jet stream and with the flow. So it looks more unsettled actually with the GFS compared to the ECM, but they are both unsettled up to the middle part of August seemingly. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles looking like this. We're at Poole today. Someone's asked me to have a look at Poole. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Poole, and we're going to be starting off a little bit warmer than average through the rest of the weekend, but by the time we get through to the start of next week, temperatures are sliding away. Going to be relatively cool through most of next week. Maybe a bit of a push up towards the end of next week. It's associated though with a big area of low pressure, so although the temperature might tick up a little bit at the end of the week, it is like to turn very wet. And then beyond that, the temperatures are dropping again through next weekend and into the following week. That's the 15th of August just there, gets us to the middle of the month. So beyond that, into the second half of the month, this period just here, it's looking relatively close to average with temperatures. No sign of anything definitively hot. There are one or two hotter outlier members just here, not well supported. Overall, it looks like temperatures are going to be staying, if anything, a little bit on the low side. Precipitation wise, so it's gradually turning more unsettled too. The next couple of days, not too much in the way of rain. Remember, this is for Poole, so it's down in the south. Further north, there is going to be heavy showers around tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. Heavy showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow. But for the southern counties, it's not really until sort of early next week, but it begins to turn a bit more unsettled. And then through next week, it just gradually gets more and more unsettled, even into the middle part of August and the second half of the month. We've got plenty of precipitation spikes, so it does look as though the idea is still there that things are going to be unsettled at least through the first half of August. Temperature anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of August, very close to average. A little bit above average for England and Wales, still very close to average further north. I would expect these are probably going to start trending a little bit cooler, if anything, over the next day or so. Western Russia remains very, very cool. Precipitation anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of August. Bit wetter than average. It does look as though it's going to be quite an unsettled week coming up. The extreme southeast of England still a little bit drier than average there, but most places look like they're going onto the wetter side of average, so there is going to be quite a bit of rainfall coming up in the next week. That's how the GFS is looking for Tuesday, and low pressure is moving in off the Atlantic. Looks unsettled, showers or longer spells of rain on Tuesday, very showery into Wednesday. Possibly a brief sort of transient bump of high pressure on Thursday. It's only been brought in ahead of this low pressure down here, though, to the west of Biscay. And as we go through to Friday, look, that low pressure's on its way into the country. That possibly ticks the temperature up a little bit because it is bringing some quite warm air with it off the coast of Portugal and the Bay of Biscay. But it will also be bringing quite a lot of heavy rain with it too. It becomes quite a major area of low pressure on this GFS run, and by the time we get through to this time next week, Saturday the 10th of August, that low pressure is exiting away into the North Sea. It's pulling down this very cool northerly winds, so that looks really quite disturbed. Heavy rain and a strong wind as well likely there, and probably feeling rather autumnal if that comes off by this time next week. That low pressure goes scooting off in towards Denmark by Sunday, and we've got this showery trough across the country, so showers continue. Temperature's probably been on the cool side as well. By the time we get through to day 10, which is Tuesday the 13th of August, we're still looking rather unsettled, although we are trying to raise the heights a little bit down to the southwest. So that actually does develop into a ridge of high pressure by Wednesday the 14th of August. We're building up a ridge from the southwest, and that will be giving us a slightly drier and warmer interlude around the middle part of the month. That's Thursday the 15th, well beyond day 10. But we do have this nice little ridge across the country. So a couple of days of drier, warmer conditions, but it doesn't last long. And by the time we get through to Friday the 16th, we're already breaking the ridge down. And we're back to square one by Saturday the 17th of August. We're back under low pressure, bringing more heavy rain and showers with it. That's how we finish up with this GFS run. Very unsettled. Low pressure is moving in from off the Atlantic. So further showers or longer spells of rain likely with that. This is the GEM. So again, rather showery on Tuesday with the Canadian model. We go through to Wednesday, looking unsettled too. That's Thursday to Friday. Now there's an area of low pressure down to our southwest with the GEM. It's a little bit slower moving it in compared to the GFS. So GFS moves its low pressure in very quickly, but GM is a little bit slower. And actually, if we get through to Saturday the 10th of August, a week's time, that low pressure is still out to our west and southwest. So what it's doing, it's drawing up some quite warm air from the south, warm but unstable. So temperatures are lifting up, probably going into mid to upper 20 Celsius there, but it would be volatile. There would be a risk of heavy showers or thunderstorms. There's the upper air temperature showing it is turning quite warm by this time next week on the GM. Eventually, of course, that low pressure has to come in. So by Sunday the 11th, that low pressure is heading in from the Atlantic. But there's uncertainty about that. GFS is moving that in as early as Friday. Whereas the GM doesn't really move that low in until late Saturday into Sunday. But what the GM does do, it pulls in warmer air with that low, but also has a greater chance of heavy showers or thunderstorms. I wonder if this just here is possibly the disturbance one that we were talking about at the start of the video, whether it's made it into a storm by the time we get through to Saturday, Sunday, I should say, the 11th of August. There's the upper air temperature showing they're still really quite warm. By the time we get through to the 12th and then the 13th of August, we're into this showery west, northwesterly flow, rather cool, and certainly bringing showers into the northern part of the country. ECM is looking like that. So again, quite a lot of low pressure around on Tuesday. That will bring showers, if not longer spells of rain. Wednesday also looking rather showery. That low is still hanging around on Thursday. That's Friday, so we start to get this little ridge building from Thursday through to Friday. Again, there's that low that the GFS, remember the GFS is bringing this into the country on Friday. Whereas the ECM, similar to what the GM shows, actually has it a little bit more delayed and still quite well away from us midnight on Friday. Saturday, same idea to the GM really. The low pressure is heading our way, but ahead of it we're drawing up some quite warm air from the south. Upper air temperatures are lifting up a little bit, but by Sunday that low pressure is breaking through. This is midnight, Sunday the 11th. There might be thunder involved with that, but it's certainly we're certainly breaking that low pressure through by Saturday to Sunday. Upper air temperatures are warm, but obviously it's very volatile. And then we go through to day 10 and we're looking unsettled. This is Tuesday the 13th of August. Does look unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain. The upper air temperatures are showing another push of very extreme heat out of North Africa and into the Mediterranean. So we've got this very, very extreme heat coming out of North Africa, another bubble of extreme heat, if you like, moving out of North Africa. And certainly some of that is beginning to get into, starting to get into southern France. So let's get rid of that. The bubble of extreme heat is starting to get into southern parts of France, possibly starting to move towards the south of Germany. So we've been here before this summer with extreme heat pushing out of North Africa and moving northwards into Europe. I suspect with the pattern that we've got there, we will probably see that extreme heat, instead of doing something like that and going up the western side of Europe as it did at the end of June and at the end of July, or late July, I suspect we will probably see that bubble of extreme heat doing something a little bit more like that. Maybe, so going over more towards the southeast of Europe or the east Europe, maybe the Balkans, in for an extreme heat wave, parts of Italy, and over towards the Black Sea. We'll see. It's a long way off, it's 10 days away, but certainly the ECM is playing with the idea that there's going to be another surge of very intense heat coming out of North Africa and into southern Europe. Anyway, at the moment there's no evidence, there's no sign of that getting up the western side of Europe to the UK. So we shall see anyway if anything happens with that. These are the scenarios that we've got on the table within the ECM ensembles today at day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. This gets us to the 13th of August, of course. It's only one scenario. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles look like this. They have above average heights around Greenland and a ridge extending through the Atlantic with below average heights over top of the UK. So therefore it looks unsettled and potentially rather on the cool side too. Certainly unsettled though, with showers if not longer spells of rain. These are the options that we've got in 2 weeks, and this gets us to the 18th of August. They all look unsettled, really. They're just differing in the placement of the below average height. So we've got 17 members of the ECM ensembles with below average heights over and to the east of the country. So they're unsettled, obviously. We've got 13 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure centred over the top of the UK. That's going to be very unsettled as well. Of course, 12 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure over or a little bit to the south of us. They're sending the jet stream a bit further south. So not only are these 12 very unsettled, they're also probably the coolest option too, because we're on the cool side of the jet stream there. And 9 with the below average heights over to the east northeast. Now, a couple of days ago, there was kind of like a split within the ECM ensemble scenarios between sort of unsettled conditions around the middle of the month, or the chance of something a little bit drier developing and warmer developing around the middle of the month. Now we've got all members of the ECM ensembles keeping it very unsettled and potentially quite cool and autumnal, even into the second half of August. Not a very good outlook at all. This is FSV2, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 3rd to the 9th of August. The coming week we'll have below average heights moving in from off the Atlantic and going into northern Europe. So low pressure is in control, high pressure is blocking things out over Greenland. The jet stream is shoved down there, so obviously it's an unsettled week ahead. Week 2 also looking unsettled is the 10th to the 16th of August. Low pressure again heads in from off the Atlantic. Jet streams coming in like that. So once again, very unsettled. We do have this ridge through southern Europe. That's bringing that extreme bubble of heat out of North Africa, but probably sending it in that kind of direction. Sending it through Italy, maybe southern Germany, those sort of areas over towards the Balkans, and then to the Black Sea. So it doesn't look like that push of heat will extend up the western side of Europe this time. This is week 3. It's the 17th to the 23rd of August with below average heights again over the UK. This time also extending into northern Europe, still with northern blocking around Greenland. So it goes on, still looks quite unsettled there. And then we get through to week 4, which is the final week of August. It's taking us from the 24th to the 30th of August. Above average heights towards the north of Scandinavia, so that's a little bit of a change. And above average heights in the middle of the Atlantic. Now, 2 things could be going on there. We might be starting to see signs of high pressure building for that final week of August. If this ridge here was to build to this ridge over there, then obviously that would start to create a big area of high pressure. What could also be going on, though, is that although it doesn't really show any below average heights, we could have the high pressure there and the high pressure there, and we could have low pressure coming in like that, with the jet stream aligned on a northwest to southeast sort of alignment, doing something a bit like that. If that was to happen, obviously that would be a cool and unsettled final week to August. But signs of a little bit of a change there in week 4. Remember, it is 4 weeks away, though, so it's extremely unreliable. Now, I have got the chance of heavy showers breaking out, so I'll just leave you with this. This is Euro 4 from MeteoSeal. They have incorporated Euro 4 to MeteoSeal just in the last week or two. So this is today's precipitation forecast. Heavy showers likely to break out this afternoon. There they are. They're rather scattered, but there could be some downpours through the Midlands going up towards northern parts of England and into Scotland. Could be some very heavy showers, maybe a rumble of thunder this afternoon. Things calm down overnight. I mean, tomorrow these showers are breaking out again, particularly for northern parts of the country. So tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, big showers and downpours developing from Scotland down to northern England into parts of the Midlands as well. Very much focused on the northern part of the country with Euro 4. And then into Monday, we have more showers, if not longer spells of rain, heading in from off the Atlantic. That's what Euro 4 is showing. This is WRF, again, at MeteoSeal. So, situation this afternoon is that we've got showers building up, particularly through those northern parts of the country, shows them quite widespread. The Northern Ireland for Scotland, for Northern England, North Wales, a little bit more scattered further south. Overnight, things calm down. Showery rain continues around those Irish Sea coasts, though. And then into tomorrow, more widespread on WRF with the showers and storms than Euro 4. In fact, it looks like there's a big area of showers and storms there moving through Scotland, Northern England, down into the Midlands through the course of tomorrow afternoon. Now, you'll notice that the most intense colours are actually focused in this sort of area from kind of northwest England down into the north and west Midlands. That would include Whaley Bridge, of course. So we may see more problems tomorrow with this critical situation with the dam there. It is possible there's going to be another deluge of rain with showers or thunderstorms, and that may well exacerbate things. Remember, Euro 4 doesn't show those showers quite as widespread as that, but there are some very intense colours there through the North Midlands into northern England. Really intense colours, indicating the chance of very torrential downpours indeed if WRF is right. Then we go through to Monday, when we're bringing a more general area of rain in from off the Atlantic. This one not as intense, but it is more persistent. That's just like an area of wet weather moving from west to east across England and Wales in particular on Monday morning, clearing away to sunshine and showers Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday looks like it's setting up to be a very showery day. There's going to be plenty of rain around in the next few days. Heavy showers, thunderstorms, and more persistent areas of rain too. And I think we will see the situation getting more and more critical with the river levels as the week goes on. So obviously we'll be keeping you posted about that. Right, that's it for your videos for today. We shall be back tomorrow with Gav's Weather Sunday Roundup. We was hoping to do Solar Sunday tomorrow, but as I explained in yesterday's videos, we've had to cancel that. So no Solar Sunday tomorrow. We will have Gav's Weather's Sunday Roundup for you, though, tomorrow. Maybe a storm watch. We might have time to do a storm watch tomorrow as well. So we shall see, but definitely Gav's Weather's Sunday Roundup will be with you tomorrow. That's it for today's videos, though. So that's all for now, and thanks for watching.